Walk into any electronics store in 2025 and you're hit with a wall of glowing screens. Dozens of TVs, all screaming 4K, HDR, smart, revolutionary technology. You see the price tags. $400, $900, $2,000, and you think how different can they really be? That's the trap. Because here's the ugly truth. Not all TVs are created equal. Some brands deliver movie theater quality right in your living room. And others, they're basically shiny disappointment machines with power buttons. Today, we're ranking 12 of the most recognizable TV brands from absolute nightmares to the sets actually worth your money. And trust me, you might be surprised at who ends up at the bottom. We've done the homework, tested the panels, read thousands of owner reviews, and compared real-world performance. Before you drop $1,000+ on a screen, this list could save you hundreds. So let's cut through the noise and give you the real ranking. 12 TV brands worth knowing about right now. Number 12. Insignia. Best Buy's budget gamble. Insignia is the house brand for Best Buy, and on paper, it sounds like a win. Cheap, accessible, one of the best-selling budget TVs in America. But here's the reality. It's the TV equivalent of buying boxed wine. Sure, it gets the job done, but no one's bragging about it. Insignia maxes out at HDR10, which sounds fancy until you see it next to Dolby Vision. Colors look flatter, contrast is weak, and the brightness can't keep up in daylight. Forget cinematic. This is more cheap motel room vibes. Worse, they skip local dimming entirely, meaning those dark, moody scenes you love in your favorite shows. Gone. Just one big gray mess. And while the price might be tempting, build quality isn't doing you any favors either. Technical reality, HDR10 Max. No Dolby Vision support equals washed out colors compared to anything decent. No local dimming equals dark scenes look like gray mush. Fire TV OS sounds good until apps crash every third use build. Quality so cheap the bezels crack if you bump them wrong. Owner experience. Bought an Insignia for $300. Thought I scored a deal. A year later, remote stopped working, apps crashed constantly, and one day the screen went black for good. Never again. Bottom line, Insignia is fine if you need a throwaway set for a spare room, but for your main TV, this isn't the brand you bet on. Number 11. RCA. The fossil that refused to evolve. RCA is like that washed-up rock band still trying to sell out stadiums on name recognition alone. Once upon a time, they were giants. A pioneer of American electronics. But today, RCA is stuck in the past, and not in a charming retro way. Their TVs are cheap, but that's about the only positive thing you can say. Outdated panels, inconsistent picture quality, and viewing angles so narrow you have to sit directly in front of the screen to see anything properly. Move 3 feet left. Suddenly, your deep blacks turn into 50 shades of gray, and not the fun kind. The panels use technology from 2015 being sold in 2025. Brightness is so low you need blackout curtains at noon. Smart features feel like they run on dial-up internet. And the remotes, they stop working before the TV does, which is saying something. Owner experience. Bought an RCA on sale for the guest bedroom. Month 3, colors washed out. Month 6, sound started buzzing. Month 9, the screen went full black. Guess it's modern art now. Honestly, RCA made its name decades ago, but now the only reason they're still on shelves is nostalgia. If you want reliable, skip it. Number 10. Toshiba. The ghost with a Fire TV badge. Toshiba used to be a household name back in the day. If you had a Toshiba in your living room, you were living good. But times have changed, and so has Toshiba. Today, Toshiba is owned by Hisense, but operates under its own label. Their TVs lean heavily on Amazon's Fire TV operating system, which can be a plus if you're deep in the Prime ecosystem. The upside. Faster app performance, simple integration, and a lower input lag that gamers appreciate. The problem: the hardware can't keep up with the software. You're getting mid-tier panels that can't match the picture quality of brands in the same price range. Where Toshiba disappoints. Peak brightness can't compete with anything in its price range. Colors look decent in showrooms, but flat at home, input lag higher than you'd want for serious gaming. Panel lottery. Some units look great, others look like they were assembled in someone's garage. Owner experience. Bought a Toshiba Fire TV thinking I'd get quality. The OS was smooth, sure, but the panel started showing dead pixels less than a year in. Customer support told me to reset it. Spoiler, didn't help. Toshiba is trying to ride on nostalgia and Amazon branding, but in reality, it's a shadow of what it used to be. Number 9. JVC THE Invisible Middle Child. JVC has a legendary name in audio equipment and cameras, but in TVs they've quietly fallen off the radar. Globally, JVC has a decent following, but in the US, availability is inconsistent at best. You might find a JVC set in one store and a completely different one in another, because specs and operating systems change depending on the region. That's right. The JVC TV you buy in California could perform completely differently from the one your cousin grabs in Australia. For US consumers, that means limited model options and spotty quality control. And if you're hunting for flagship features, Dolby Vision, Mini LED, advanced HDR formats, don't hold your breath. What JVC lacks: inconsistent quality control equals panel lottery. Every purchase limited flagship features. No Mini LED. No advanced HDR formats. Software lags like it's processing through molasses. Customer support is a black hole. Good luck getting a human on the phone. Owner experience. Grabbed a JVC at Walmart on sale. Looked okay at first, but the menu lagged like crazy and apps kept freezing. Tried to return it. No replacements in stock. Guess I found out why. Unless you stumble on a great deal, JVC lands in the forgettable middle tier. Not the worst, but far from competitive. Number 8. Philips Two Faces, Two Realities. Philips is a strange beast. In Europe, it's a respected name. Sleek designs, gorgeous panels, and the famous Ambilight feature. LED lighting that spills colors onto your wall to make movies feel more immersive. Over there, people genuinely love Philips, but in the US, whole different story. Here, the Philips name is licensed to Funai, a company producing budget-level sets that couldn't match European Philips quality if their entire R&D team drank 10 espressos and tried for a year straight. What you see in US stores has nothing to do with the premium Philips reputation overseas. Imagine thinking you're buying a Mercedes, but what you actually get is a rusty Kia with a fake badge glued on the front. That's Philips in America, and the problems don't stop at build quality. Owners complain about slow, clunky menus, buffering in apps, and an outdated interface that feels stuck in 2015. It's like buying a smart TV that needs a coffee just to wake up. Owner experience. Got a Philips thinking I was scoring European quality. First week, Ambilight feature, cool. Wait, there's no Ambilight on US models. Month 2, menu lagged so hard I thought the TV froze. Month 6, sold it and bought a TCL instead. Bottom line: if you live in the US, Philips sounds better than it performs. Don't get fooled by the name. Number 7. The Premium Ghost. If you've shopped for TVs in the US recently, you might have noticed something strange. Where's Panasonic? Once a giant in the home electronics space, Panasonic TVs have practically vanished from North American shelves since 2016. Globally, Panasonic is still respected. They build some gorgeous OLED panels, often praised for natural colors and excellent motion handling. They even pack in Dolby Atmos and DTS-X audio tech, which makes movies sound like you've got a private theater. But here's the catch. In the US, options are painfully limited. Panasonic's model selection is so small, it feels like they're hiding TVs under the counter and only handing them out to a select few. Then there's the price tag. Panasonic wants you to pay premium dollars for TVs that in the US market don't always justify the cost when compared to LG, Sony, or even TCL. Add in their barebones app store and limited smart features, and suddenly you start questioning what you're actually paying for. Owner experience. Imported a Panasonic OLED after hearing everyone rave about it. Picture quality, incredible, but no HBO Max, clunky updates, and almost no US support. Paid top dollar for half the ecosystem. Panasonic still makes quality panels, but unless you're outside the US, the headaches outweigh the hype. Number 6. Vizio, the budget hero that fell from grace. Vizio used to be the go-to name for budget-friendly TVs in America. Back in the 2000s and 2010s, they crushed the competition by delivering solid picture quality at prices Samsung and Sony couldn't touch. For a while, recommending a Vizio was a no-brainer. But somewhere along the way, the magic faded. Vizio panels still offer good picture quality for the price when they work. But owners have been complaining about durability issues, software glitches, and an interface so clunky it feels like it was designed by someone who's never used a remote before. Menus lag. Apps crash. Updates randomly break features that worked fine yesterday. Then there's SmartCast, Vizio's smart platform that tries to compete with Roku, Android TV, and WebOS and fails spectacularly. It's slow, unintuitive, and downright frustrating if you're used to seamless streaming elsewhere. What went wrong with Vizio? Software glitches appear on day one. Apps crash randomly, especially YouTube and Netflix. SmartCast interface slower than carrier pigeons. Durability issues. Panels developing dead pixels within a year. Owner experience. Bought a 65-inch Vizio OLED thinking it was a steal. First month, gorgeous picture. Month 3, half my apps stopped working. Month 5, remote lagged like dial-up internet. Month 8, I gave up and bought a Hisense. Vizio isn't dead, but it's not the unbeatable budget king it used to be. And with TCL and Hisense snapping at their heels, you've got better options today for the same money or less. We've burned through the budget heartbreakers and premium ghosts. But now we're stepping into the ring with some real heavyweights. These next 5 brands are everywhere, flooding store shelves, dominating ads, and fighting for your living room. But here's the twist. One of them is wildly underrated. One is quietly taking over the world. And one, well, let's just say they're charging champagne prices for soda performance. Number 5. Hisense was the other brand on the shelf. The one you walked past on your way to check out Samsung and Sony. Not anymore. Hisense has spent the last decade going from background player to serious contender. They bought Toshiba and Sharp, learned from their mistakes, and started cranking out TVs that actually compete with the big names. Their ULED technology, mini LED backlighting, and impressive color accuracy have turned heads, especially at prices that make you double-check the tag to see if it's a typo. But it's not all sunshine and Dolby Vision. Hisense TVs have their drawbacks, mainly audio quality and build durability. Some models sound tiny, others feel flimsier than they should. And a few owners complain about fragile bezels that seem allergic to toddlers and curious pets. Why Hisense deserves attention. Mini LED backlighting at prices competitors charge double for impressive color accuracy. And contrast that rivals premium brands' Dolby Vision support across most models, bright enough for sunny living. Rooms without looking washed out where it falls short. Audio quality sounds like it comes from a cereal box. You'll want a soundbar build, feels slightly cheaper than premium brands. Some panels feel fragile. Pets and toddlers are natural predators. Owner experience. Got a Hisense U8H for half the price of an LG OLED. Picture, stunning. Audio, straight from a cereal box. Bought a soundbar and suddenly I had a $3,000 experience for $1,200. Bottom line, Hisense is punching way above its weight. If you want premium visuals without paying premium prices, this is one of the smartest buys in 2025. Number 4. TCL. The budget disruptor TCL is like that garage band that went viral overnight and suddenly sells out stadiums. A few years ago, nobody cared. Today, TCL is one of the fastest growing TV brands in the world, and for good reason. Their 6 series back in 2018 changed the game. For the first time, you could get QLED panels, mini LED tech, and Dolby Vision support without selling your car. TCL forced bigger brands to rethink their pricing, and consumers loved it. But success comes with growing pains. TCL's quality control isn't always consistent. One person gets a flawless set, while another opens the box to find dead pixels, light bleeding, or worse, a panel that looks like it was tested by a toddler with a hammer. Why TCL wins? Roku TV or Google TV interface equals smooth, intuitive. No bloatware picture quality that punches 2 weight classes above its price. Gaming features like 120 Hz and low input lag that gamers actually care about. Costco return policy means low risk. Purchase the catch. Quality control isn't always consistent across units. Some panels arrive with dead pixels or light bleeding issues. Occasional panel lottery. One unit perfect, another flawed. Owner experience. Bought a TCL 6 series and was blown away. Got my brother the same model a month later. His came with 2 dead pixels right out of the box. TCL replaced it, but the hassle was real. On the software side, though, TCL gets it right. Many models use Roku TV or Google TV, which means a smooth, intuitive interface without the clunky menus of some competitors. And when you compare TCL's performance to its price tag, it's hard to ignore. Bottom line, TCL isn't perfect, but when they get it right, they give you 90% of a premium experience for 60% of the cost. Number 3. The luxury performer. Sony has been in the TV game for decades, and unlike RCA or Toshiba, they never really left. Their Trinitron and WEGA models defined an era, and today Sony's staying power comes from doing what they've always done best: picture quality. Sony TV are built for people who care about visuals down to the last pixel. Whether you're watching a movie in Dolby Vision or gaming on a PS5, Sony's processing tech makes everything look clean, smooth, and ridiculously lifelike. Their motion handling is second to none, which means no weird blurring during sports or action scenes. But here's the kicker: Sony makes you pay for it. While TCL and Hisense are giving you near premium performance for bargain prices, Sony's pricing is aimed at people who don't flinch when they see $2,000 price tags. And for that money, you don't always get features competitors include by default, like advanced audio tuning or better smart interfaces. Where Sony dominates: picture quality down to the pixel, ridiculously lifelike motion handling second to none, no blur during fast action. Build quality feels premium. Solid and well-made PS5 integration features for serious gamers where Sony frustrates. Premium pricing without always justifying the cost difference. Audio quality decent, but not exceptional for the price point. Smart interface slower than competitors like LG or Samsung. Fewer HDMI 2.1 ports than you'd expect at this price. Owner experience. Bought a Sony A80K OLED for movie nights. Picture quality, unreal. But after spending $2,300, I expected a better sound system. Ended up dropping another $500 on a soundbar. That said, Sony TVs look and feel premium. The build quality is excellent, customer support is better than most, And for gamers or movie enthusiasts, few brands deliver this level of polish. Bottom line, if you're after elite picture quality and don't mind spending for it, Sony earns its top 3 spot. But if you're on a budget, you might find yourself looking longingly at TCL and Hisense for similar visuals at half the cost. We've reached the final showdown. The two names that dominate living rooms, warehouse shelves, and late-night commercials. But here's the thing. Just because they're popular doesn't mean they're perfect. Number 2, Samsung is everywhere. You walk into Best Buy and there's an entire wall of glowing Samsung screens screaming at you like the Vegas Strip. And to be fair, they've earned a lot of that hype. Samsung's Neo QLED panels deliver jaw-dropping brightness and razor-sharp contrast that make sports, movies, and video games pop like fireworks. Their flagship sets pack cutting-edge tech. Mini-LED backlighting, quantum HDR, and ridiculous refresh rates that gamers drool over. If you want a TV that looks like it was built for the future, Samsung's lineup checks almost every box. But here's the part they don't put on the billboard. Samsung has a bloatware problem. These TVs are packed with more pre-installed apps than a teenager's phone, and you can't delete half of them. Even worse, advertisements. Yep, you just spent $1,800 on a premium TV, and the home screen is serving you promos for shows you've never heard of. Nothing says luxury like getting pitched an insurance ad before Netflix boots up. What Samsung delivers: Neo QLED brightness that makes HDR content pop like fireworks, mini-LED backlighting for jaw-dropping contrast gaming features like 120Hz VRR, and low latency that gamers obsess over, sleek design that looks premium in any living room. What Samsung hides: bloatware. Pre-installed apps you can't delete, advertisements on your home screen after paying premium prices. Tizen OS gets clunky after a year of updates. Premium pricing with features most people never actually use. Owner experience. Bought a Samsung QN90C, gorgeous picture, insane brightness. No regrets there. But man, the ads. I didn't think I'd need an ad blocker for my TV. Samsung also loves to push updates that occasionally break features or change your settings without asking. Combine that with premium pricing, and you've got a brand that delivers incredible tech, but occasionally reminds you who's really in control. Bottom line, Samsung is an innovation beast. But if you hate cluttered menus and forced ads, you might start side-eyeing that shiny remote after a few weeks. Number 1. LG, the OLED king. If Samsung is the loud hype machine, LG is the quiet assassin. And in 2025, they're still wearing the crown. LG's OLED panels are in a league of their own. While most TVs rely on backlights, OLED pixels light themselves individually, giving you perfect blacks, stunning contrast, and colors so vivid you'll swear you're looking out a window instead of at a screen. Movie lovers, gamers, sports fans, everyone gets spoiled here. Their WebOS interface is slick and easy to navigate. And unlike Samsung, LG doesn't bombard you with endless ads or force useless apps down your throat. Plus, LG's gaming credentials are elite. HDMI 2.1 support, low latency modes, and refresh rates up to 120Hz make these sets absolute beasts for next-gen consoles. Why LG dominates: OLED pixels light themselves individually, perfect blacks and infinite contrast colors so vivid you'll swear you're looking out a window. WebOS interface is clean, fast, no bloatware. No forced ads. Gaming credentials are elite. HDMI 2.1 on all ports, 120Hz, G-Sync and FreeSync support, build quality and reliability, consistently rated highest where LG has limitations. OLED panels can suffer from burn-in if you leave static images too long, like news tickers or sports scoreboards, not the brightest option for rooms with tons of natural light. Premium pricing. Though sales bring it closer to reality, replacing a burnt-out OLED panel is expensive owner experience. Upgraded to an LG C3 OLED after 5 years on a Samsung QLED. The difference? Night and day. Dark scenes in movies finally look dark and no blooming. Zero regrets. That said, LG isn't flawless. OLED panels can suffer from burn-in if you leave static images sitting too long. And while LG has improved panel longevity dramatically, replacing a burnt-out OLED is still expensive. But for pure cinematic performance, LG remains the undisputed king. Bottom line, if you want the best overall viewing experience in 2025, this is it. So if you're still wondering which TV to buy, here's the breakdown. Best budget pick that won't embarrass you, Hisense. Best value without compromise, TCL 6 Series. Best for movie lovers who want luxury, Sony. Best all-arounder with cutting-edge brightness, Samsung. Ultimate king of picture quality, LG OLED. Brands to avoid unless you enjoy disappointment, Insignia, RCA, and budget Philips models in the US. Before you spend a dime on your next TV, make sure you're buying smart. Hit subscribe to Frugal Choice. Turn on notifications and join thousands of viewers who refuse to overpay. Because here we don't just buy TVs, we buy smart. We break down the tricks, the traps, and the truths big brands don't want you to know. So you spend smarter, save bigger, and avoid the regrets. Hit subscribe, tap that bell icon, and let's keep you ahead of the game.